Melee, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Fourside. Its continuing mission, to explore strange new takes, to seek out new opinions and new things to get mad about, to boldly talk where no one has talked before. Featuring The Cheat, Chroma 09, Webs, and iBDW.
All right, citizens of Fourside, I'm Drexel, and I know, number one, Axe should never, ever go Young Link versus Jigglypuff. Number two, we are going to be sick of Jmook winning after he gets his first one and starts his Armada era. Number three, Webbs here stole Chroma's swag by housing the Papa Johns, but we forgive him because the camera didn't cut away, and even Chroma can't stack up to that. And number four, Benjamin Sisko is the best Star Trek captain of all time. Let's go to each side. Who's the best Star Trek captain? The Cheat.
I think it was the 10th one. What was it, David Tennant or someone?
Fuck
we'll
you.
Go with that.
Chroma.
You know, for me, it's gotta be James Tiberius Kirk.
All right, at least that is somebody on the show. Webbs.
Gonna have to go with Jean-Luc Picard on this one, simply because it's incredibly fun to say.
And iBDW rocking -10 for your tardiness.
I agree with Webbs.
Okay, and no
Double
originality.
points for
That
me.
also gets you some points off. Welcome to Fourside Fights. We've got four outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end gets to be our winner. They get to commentate the three losers as they go over to Fourside in a free-for-all so we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get us started with our first topic. I want to dive into my pain here, okay? Jmook and Hungrybox. I watched Jmook with a fire I've not seen in a player in quite that way, maybe ever. The Zen Master is popping off between games, but still, the head-to-head is abysmal. And even if some of the coin flip sets had gone Jmook's way, he'd be still looking at something like, what, 5-9, 4-10? And as it stands in reality, it's 2-12. Is the Jmook Hungrybox rivalry the most painful top-level rivalry in Melee history? And how many more times should Jmook be ready to lose before switching to Fox for the matchup? Let's start with Webbs. Welcome to the show.
I'm gonna have to say that it is not the most painful. No, I do think it is the most painful matchup rivalry across the top level in history. I don't think that quite yet it necessitates a full switch to Fox because a lot of these set losses have been at the same tournament. So we've seen Jmook be someone who can adapt quickly between tournaments, and so he'll lose quick 1-2, H-box stacking up the W's. But to sum it all up, the most painful rivalry has got to be this one. Second close will be MTK Armada, but MTK did sneak a couple tiny ones out and started to win a few sets at the end.
So Webbs, are you saying that instead of seeing it as 2-12, we should see it more like 1-6? Just cut it all in half?
Well, what you said with the coin flips, too, was that it could easily have been more like 5. Okay. So if you cut it down to 1-6, and then you said to flip it up, we're all
right, 2.5 to 4.5. That's now we're starting to hear a little goodness. Chroma, what do you got?
Math works.
I think Webbs is just a little bit off on this, but it's not his fault. You see, tragedy plus time is comedy. Things are very funny after they happen a lot, and as we grow to expect them. A painful one was Mutaking versus Armada. It was a while until Mutaking actually won, and the matches were very few and very far between. Mutaking barely loses at Genesis, and you're like, okay, well, next time Mutaking's got it. Mutaking goes up 2-1 at, I believe it was Apex, and then you don't see it again. And you're always convinced that there's some reason why Mutaking can win, why it can happen. And it isn't until that best of 3 when it finally all comes together. Evo, I was coping pretty hard, and then that SD in the last stock, and that was it for me. But now, because Mutaking started winning, we have comedy and we have catharsis. And Webbs is absolutely right. We do not have that catharsis with Jmook. There are more depressing matchups between top players. Plup versus Armada for a while. That made me feel terrible. There was a summit where I think Plup got 11 stocked in a best of 5, and I said, maybe it's time for another game. I don't really know. But now, things have developed. Things have come farther. Jmook Hungrybox has so many levels of pain. It is the pain of, why does this keep happening? Jmook adapts in every other matchup so quickly.
Chroma, you've been talking for a full minute. Let me hear from the cheat.
All right.
I'd like to bring up another matchup that involves the H-Beast, which is H-Box Axe. Something that for 8 years, Axe has been pushing the boulder of Jigglypuff up the hill, and the Jigglypuff has been rolling out back down the hill at him. And that's another one that we've now seen a different angle to it. Some questionable DI from H-Box on down throws, leading to a really close set between the two of them. And my AZ heart is just ready to burst when the day finally comes that Axe is able to get over the hump.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, Mikey. I'm not giving you more points because I'm not that depressed by Axe H-Box anymore when he was playing Pika. Now I'm starting to feel it again, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of hopium, right?
Yeah, the hope is restored. Before it was like, oh, Axe is gonna bash his head against the wall again. That's fun. iBDW, welcome to the show. You got negative 13. This is quite a hill to climb.
I'm still against that. I was taking care of some sick girlfriend. That's messed up for giving me negative
That's
points
great.
for that.
You could get points with her, but not for me.
All right, well, that's fucked up. I'm going to go a different H-Box matchup that was the most painful, not anymore. That was H-Box Zane in 2019. I don't think I've ever felt more pain in my entire life because, one, it happened in Grands every other fucking tournament, and two, H-Box didn't stop winning during that time, so it made it 10 times worse because it's like he could beat him. He could beat the best player. He's right there. He could beat the best. Oh, game 10. Oh, he lost last stock. Oh, he got rested again. Oh, he got popped off again. Oh, that's like the 10th time this year. That really fucking sucks, doesn't it? And that, I don't think I've ever had more pain watching something happen over and over again than that. Jake, one, it's partially the matchup. It's not as good. Two, it hasn't happened in Grands as many times. Three, H-Box hasn't won everything this year. So it hasn't been as painful for me because it's not like he's fucking dominating. As far as switching to Fox.
No. You're a believer.
I don't think.
I disagree.
I think you're a bitch if you switch off a 40-60 matchup.
I think until
I think a matchup
Xbox
game is
starts...
40-60, and that's okay. And you're a bitch if you switch off of it.
I disagree. And there's a very important thing that you're forgetting here. I've watched Jmook's Fox. Anybody else, you're absolutely right. Jmook's Fox is pure cocaine. It is insane. I watched it that one net play tournament. I had no idea what was even happening. Everything that he did was fantastic. I want him to go Fox because I almost would rather watch his Fox in half the matchups. I don't really know.
I'll give you a competitor's perspective. Do you think my Fox gets as good as it is if I don't sit down and learn the Zane matchup?
I think you're wanting it too much.
No, I think it paid off.
Right.
I think it paid off.
That one
I
did.
I want to parlay this into our second topic because it is kind of.
I don't know how he's doing that.
Yeah, I want to skip a little bit ahead, and then we'll come back to the one on our agenda. Melee Stats' Edwin Budding told me something shocking on Tuesday, okay? If our guest, iBDW, finishes 2022 as number one, and at least for me, I think you're still in the running, not that you care about rankings all that much, it would be the first time a solo Fox main has ever gotten number one. So I'm going to whisper about this because, listen, what I'm about to say will be endlessly roasted on commentary and in chat, but I have to ask you, Fox mains to Fox main. Mikey, please, you could close your ears. And I guess, Webbs, you're like a turncoat, but you could keep your ears open. Just 3 data-enjoying, rational dudes. Is Fox overrated? Let's start with Webbs.
Fox is absolutely not overrated because Full Hop Nair wins the majority of matchups. Full Hop Nair and the mix-ups out of it win the majority of matchups alone. And while you can, I guess,
points go up by 4 for saying that.
0 to death a Fox, I suppose. But when a Fox is playing well, how do you propose that you touch a Fox? I feel like even some matchups to this day that we've considered to be so good, like Marth Fox NFD, is swinging more towards neutral, as Cody has so eloquently shown us with his
IBDW, you think Web shouldn't have got 4 points for that? You could get some points. I'll take them away if you have a better take.
I was laughing. Don't worry. I was just laughing. I was having a good time. Yeah.
What do you got?
Get him.
I think that Fox has an accurately rated peak and is overrated for consistency. I think the amount of skill you need to have to be consistent with the character is fucking ludicrous, as shown by the fact that I need to play 6 hours a day to not get down tilted over and over and over again or get grabbed by H-Box, and I'll still get grabbed by H-Box anyways and have to go back to Dash Chance camping. But when he's at his peak, no, he just straight up doesn't lose. You're fucked.
See, IBDW, you get 7 points on that because that's what I already believed, and I think it's really cool that you also agree with me. Chroma, what do you got?
Is Fox the best character in the game? Probably. Should I be losing to Mikey's Luigi? Probably not. Should I be better at everything? Yes. Is Fox overrated? Absolutely. People think that it's inconceivable that you can possibly ever lose a matchup or even practically lose a matchup as Fox. You're not allowed to say that Fox loses to Marth. You're not allowed to say if a Sheik tech chases really, really well, maybe that is doable if they play exceptional. You're not allowed to say Fox Puff isn't 7-3.
What do you mean not allowed? You're saying it
You're
right
not
now.
allowed
Are
to
the
say it.
libs
Have
going to
you
cancel
seen
you on Twitter?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen Twitter? Go into Levin's replies every time. See what happens when iBDW walks up afterwards and says, that player played very well.
All right, the cheat. Give us the Luigi perspective. I'm very salty right now. Luigi was beating my ass on unranked just before this.
I am actually going to go to bat for the Foxes here and say that you will continue to lose to my Luigi ad infinitum until the rest of time. And that will continue to be a problem for Foxes. The fact of the matter is that everyone is a Fox matchup specialist in Melee. And that's going to make shit hard for you. And it's not necessarily because of the character so much as that everyone plays the character. But that still has to reflect on how we, analyze it.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. I want to troll our guest a little bit with this one. The Panda roster is filled with excellent Melee players. To have Plup and iBDW on the same team is just astounding. Let's have a Panda battle. Pitch me on which player has the stronger all-time legacy, iBDW or Plup. The more horrible things you could say about the loser, the better. So let's start with the cheat.
It's got to be Plup. Right, I think having a Genesis win in your bag is pretty insane. Summit 13 was Mickey Mouse. Summit 12 was maybe fine, probably, but I think that Plup's longevity.
You think your own tournament was Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, I've always said that Summit 13 was Mickey Mouse.
What the heck is? Yeah, I got to take some away from you on that one. Webbs, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Plup on this one. I think that beating Armada is something that you can't really replicate in this day and age, unfortunately. There's going to be a new beating Armada going forward, and that is going to be maintaining consistency in this new era of heightened parity. But yeah, having a Genesis, winning over Armada, I think, in the 2022, the beginning of the new era post-COVID, the pandemic's gone. There's no more pandemic.
I will say that I think Cody now takes a couple sets off Armada at least.
Yeah, it's like you can't if he's not around.
If you gave Pete Cody shots at 2018 Armada, it would happen.
And that's why I'm choosing Plup, is because Armada has effectively short-term cock-blocked him by retiring. I think you give more period of time.
If you're telling me that reverse roading Zane is easier than beating Armada, you can fuck right off.
All right, let's go. What do you got on
Zane
there?
back. I'm still gonna say Plup because I think longevity matters a little bit too much, and I've only been top. Shut the fuck up! And I've only been top 10 since like 2019, and only like top 5 for 2 years now. So I have to give Plup just off longevity. I fucking hate when people shit on Zach for not winning a major. I'm like, dude was top 10 for a decade. Like, yeah. I don't understand how you underrate that. So longevity, I think matters too much.
Dude, listen, on this show we stand SFAT, and by the way, I'm subtracting points from all of you for not saying Zane SFAT as the saddest of them all.
Oh, what?
You'll get it done. I'm not done.
You're all wrong, but you get equally loss of points. So whatever.
It's just Cody's getting closer here.
Good Lord.
He's getting closer to understanding what this is about. Legacy. Comparing incomparable eras, fighting the ghost of Armada. These things are immaterial. Whoever has the better all-time legacy is whoever we, as the commentators and narrative makers, like better.
I do think that's true. I do agree with that.
Michael Jordan did play against
is being
plumbers.
mean to commentators lately by streaming overall defense and making fun of us. Cody, you're nice to us like 3 times. You have it.
And Plup is better at commentary than us. That also is tough.
That's not good either.
Show. He's right. He's on the show.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Summit format under the microscope again. Sunsei beats Leffen, Pipsqueak, and Professor Pro. He says this merited a better seed than 8th, where he ran straight into the Terminators of Zane and Jmook, who has basically perfected wobbling with Sheik. Do these complaints have merit? And if so, what should the Summit format reward in the future? Let's start with our leader, Chroma.
I'm going to admit it. I didn't watch Summit. It's just it wasn't interesting to me. I wasn't there. But I'm gonna go out of my way
Let's
to
go ahead
say,
and move on to the cheat. No, not you actually, Webs. I want Webs.
Well, first of all, I'll just say I know Chroma didn't watch Summit because he was too busy watching the chat box go by and commenting within it. So that's
Okay,
where
but
his
in
focus
saying
lies.
that, you're admitting that you're
I love the
also
face.
watching chat.
I can't believe you read
Which
chat
what
during
am I
my
supposed
blog.
to do when I'm on the beanbags?
You've committed.
L
you-
So
plus
the
Rich,
Summit
prepare.
format,
Meditate.
is built by the people who are seeding, who are worried about the placements of players. The Summit format is designed to fit the year-end ranking model because it optimizes the number of sets that we will get between different players. So in the end, it's bad for the players because it might get reseeded despite doing well and getting a good matchup, but they're going to end up playing somebody different than they did in pools at least. So the seeders and the panelists are doing great. It's great for viewers because you're going to get different matchups. You get an optimized huge number of sets because of the gauntlet stage, which, you know, is kind of weird because they're sort of inconsequential, but they add to the overall set count. Head-to-head at the end of the year, Wheat gets to fill out another cell in his little spreadsheet, which he loves more than anything else.
The cells are
so-
loving it. Yeah.
I think the format's great for everyone except for the players, unfortunately.
All right, IBDW, you were in the midst of this machine. How did it feel?
The goal is just get out in winners. Outside of that, you don't give a shit about day one. Like anything else, just throw out of the back of your head. Just get out in winners. The other thing is, I will say, I heard of a certain someone who was initially got me in round one and then bitched to the TOs and cried for about an hour, and then all of a sudden he had to play one of his best matchup in top 8. So that was
Mickey
crazy.
Mouse.
This is not what happened.
That was crazy.
That is what happened.
All right,
I saw it.
defend yourself. Defend
The
yourself.
bracket wasn't finished, and people saw it and started tweeting about it prematurely. We didn't put it out yet. It wasn't done.
Explain to me how Mango Axe isn't what has to happen. How many times does Cody have to play Mango in a week? It's been like 5 times this
It's
month.
fucked up.
Let him live.
I'm
Okay,
fucking him up next
here's
time.
the
Fuck
deal.
that.
I think this was probably kind of wrong for this to happen, and I'll explain why. So when we go from groups to gauntlet, we want that to be unpredictable because we don't want there to be a situation that arises where a player can say, "Hey, look, it's going to be better for me if I throw this match because that's going to give me a better gauntlet opponent," or something like that. So we try to avoid that as much as possible by mixing up from what is the quote-unquote optimal seeding in gauntlet. And as a result of that, students say probably shouldn't have actually played Zane. One other thing that we were considering is that in this situation that ended up happening, it would take 2 upsets to have a rematch in winter semis, whereas in the alternative, it would take 1, which I think is probably actually not a thing that should matter very much.
No, upsets you care about upsets.
Yeah, so, sure, yeah, we're gonna fix it.
So we're holding hands, and world peace has been achieved.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
and I told Sunsei as much. I told Sunsei that it probably shouldn't have happened that way, and I'll fix it. Listen, I don't have a very good bracket brain. I need help. So if
who
you
was I
out
supposed
there
to-
have a
who
better
would
idea,
who would I have played in round 1? Who would I have played in round 1?
I don't know, actually, off the top of my head. But help me if someone's out there. I need it.
Yeah,
and we'll have to figure it out next
someone
time.
wants to, hey, listen.
Most of the top players usually are actually pretty good about this.
I
We usually
know,
have a
yeah.
pretty good idea of who we're supposed to play and who we don't, because we've just done it so many times.
I actually think that it's an unsolvable problem, to be very clear about this.
You got that arrows theorem going.
Maybe
Well,
we
no.
do Swiss Summit. I
You
don't
can't
know.
make it,
I mean,
can't make
you-
it perfect, but you can make it better. Just because you
You-
can't make something
you have
perfect
an
doesn't mean
unsolvable
you can't
system.
make it better.
You have
Well,
people
better is
possibly
always
playing 4 or
relative.
5
You
matches.
could solve Sunsei's problem and piss off somebody else. And so the goal
Exactly.
is to piss off the person who complains the least.
I think the only solution is a massive round robin between all 16 players.
I
So
actually
no
hit
one's-
this idea as a joke, but it sounds so dope.
Hey, we call it
sounds
FC
so
Revival.
cool.
We're doing it. It's
We'll crowd-
misunderstood enthusiasts.
Maybe we
You know?
do a crowd fund thing, week-long summit, and we just have it out.
Okay, I love it. Let's move on to our next topic because this one you're getting a little too chummy. There was a lot of anger earlier, and I liked that. So let's go back to that. After
I
another
can do that for you.
disappointing finish for his standards, HBox is throwing out sub goals to learn reaction tech chase rest, and tweeted straight up that he'd quote swallow his pride and learn optimized melee puff, RTC, edgeguard flowcharts, every advanced tech I don't use, all of the missing mustard, unquote. Is this the prophecy? Are we shaking in our boots, or is HBox without Crunch still not going to be able to have the discipline to learn a whole new skill set. Let's start with Webbs.
I mean, what is there for him to add? RTC rest? What else?
He wants to do edgeguard flowcharts and every advanced tech he doesn't use.
He has the best
This is pure content. This is just HBox hunting for subs. He's got the alt kids lining up. They got their mom and dad's credit card. Those funny little 3 digits on the back. And he says, listen, all I need is these numbers, these fun little numbers. And then this very vague, unbeknownst tech. I'm going to learn it, and it's going to be great next year. Listen, Juan's just going to be cracking the same old head that he's been cracking. And I think he's going to improve, but it's just going to be a matter of maybe RTC rest. And I can't think of anything. What else is there?
So you don't believe in the prophecy, the cheat. What do you got?
I don't believe in the prophecy either. I think that if there's one thing I've learned from the past couple years of Melee, it's that the game looks completely different than it used to. And whenever there's an innovation, people are going to innovate right back. And there are going to be less opportunities for HBox to get rest in the first place because Foxes are going to just be that cracked. And the cycle continues forever because that's how Melee is. So I'm not worried. And if he does do it, that's sick. And we'll figure out a way around it.
Okay. Chroma?
You know, sometimes we're disappointed at our lives. Mewtwo King sets up a sub goal to enter a tournament. Mango sets up a sub goal to get a sub goal to get a sub goal to go to a tournament, maybe. I think Hungrybox is not going to follow through on this one, but he is getting closer to 2 more important sub goals. At 2,000 subs from his current sub count, he will kidnap Crunch and bring him back to his house. And at 5,000 subs, he will time out every single person he plays at the next major.
I love that for him. I
did forget about the potential for him to start.
iBDW, what do you think? Is this the prophecy? Are you shaking in your little fox boots?
Well, at 500 subs, then I will complain until there's a ledge grab limit and an airtime limit installed if he goes chiming out everyone, and I will make sure that's a damn true thing. There's not a thing in this world this guy will not do for a sub goal. If that guy got money to do it, he's going to do it. So I think he's going to learn RTC rest. He can also learn a drill rest. I just think he's probably going to be too much of a bitch to go for it if I had to guess. So
everybody's a bitch to you. What do you think RTC rest is going to actually do to his win rate? Do you think it's actually the difference between 4th and 3rd?
Yeah, between 4th and 3rd, sure. He's not going to beat me, but we already knew that. So it should beat everyone else.
I did already know that.
Okay. And do you think he ever catches up with CPU 0 in terms of pure raw resting ability? He's too far behind. He can't catch up.
Absolutely not.
So what are all the puffs? What's preventing all the puffs that are cracked at the rest setups from breaking out and being top 20 players?
The intangibles.
Right?
Oh, it's 100% the intangibles. We all saw what online did to Juan, right? It completely changed him in a competitive sense. He needs his presence. He needs his 20-yard aura that when you step within it, you are debuffed by him. And he performs way better. You perform way worse. And he clutches it on last stock. It's just what happens in person.
Cody, when you did the reverse pop-off, did you feel like you stole some of that aura from Hungrybox?
1,000%. That was the intention to. The reason is I will not play out-of-game mind games with anyone else. I am going to do it to him because that's all he does to every fucking person he plays against. And so I said, I am doing this right back to you, and it hurts him. Because every time he gets close to beating me, he has to have in the back of his head, now, is Cody going to do something? Does he have something else planned? I know he's thinking that.
Do you like the Legend of Korra, iBDW?
Different flavor from Avatar. It has a good season.
There's a scene in that show where a character is going through a fog, and they can't tell what's real and what isn't. How do you know that you're able to actually navigate the fog of Hungrybox's mind games without losing your own mind in the process?
Because I already lost my mind a long time ago. I have nothing else to lose.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to our next.
Actually, wait, on that point, we did see what happened to Pipsqueak this weekend, right? He beat HBox.
He got camped out next time.
Sort of jerked into his brain.
He switched up.
He kind of his hair suddenly
Look what they
turned
did to
into
my
a fade.
boy.
The chain spawned around his neck, and he got 13th place. That's just
I
what
just
happens.
want nice things for
You got to
Pip.
be careful. I know. Me too.
I just want him to win.
He got camped.
He couldn't even win this show. All right, let's move on to our next topic. We've seen experiments with Mute City, lower time limits, and more in Melee in the past, year. And obviously, we have a long history of experimentation. Over in Ultimate, they're straight up open to banning characters. What rule change would you like to see the Melee scene experiment with? Let's start with Chroma.
I think Tri-State is doing some interesting stuff, experimenting with, 5 minutes, maybe 3 stock. Something that I've always enjoyed is matchup-specific time limits and stock counts, which I think would be very fun. One other thing that I want to try is if Puff is really timing somebody out, I want it to be possible to taunt 3 times and disqualify Puff. I think if you can get 3 taunts off versus Puff in neutral, Puff should lose that game instantly.
Yes, very good, Chroma. But
Well, how do you define neutral, Jake?
wait a second. Wait. IBDW, do you like that idea? Tell me about it.
That's hilarious.
You
As
think this
long
is a
as
good
Puff
idea?
if Puff hasn't gotten hit in, let's say, 5 seconds, and you're able to get a taunt out without getting hit, it counts as 1.
Just 1 taunt? All right, this is a
you have
flagrant
to get
violation
three.
of the
You have to get
Jackzilla.
three.
By the way,
You have to
this
get
is the
three.
Jackzilla
Counts as one.
rule.
You still need 3.
Webbs, what do you got? You wanted to get in there. Sorry.
No, I had a question for Jake. I was just going to say the issue, of course, becomes all the nebulousness of different scenarios where Puff gets hit away and then you run to the other side of the stage and Puff literally can't get back to you.
5 seconds.
That's good.
A la
That's why I
Dreamland.
said 5 seconds.
That's good, and Puff should have died there.
No, that's why I said 5 seconds.
guess-
Puff needs to have not
yeah.
gotten
Could
hit
you,
for 5
Webbs,
seconds.
could you not simply increase the number of taunts?
You'd have to normalize. Well, I don't know. I guess a whole new meta. You know what? I'm on board. A whole new meta develops around picking characters with short taunts. I'm excited to see what the future has to hold.
What's the
I'll
shortest
give you
taunt?
3.5.
DK's taunt's pretty short, right?
It is pretty short, yeah. And DK's got it pretty solid.
Maybe Dunkon can win a
Oh,
major.
I love this propaganda.
Oh,
The cheat.
man.
What do you got? Can you push back against this machine? Everybody is. I'm feeling a little too much attention to my particular ideas now. They're
Yeah.
trying to game the
We're
game.
buttering them up.
I mean, listen, as a floaty main, I have to say that sometimes I just play Hugs 86 and it takes 6 minutes and that's that. And I think that the timer doesn't work in all of these situations. I don't necessarily think that Melee is a game that should be played to time. I don't think that's a win condition that we pay attention to all that often, except for the niche cases where it comes up. But the HBox menace is definitely a thing. I don't think airtime is that bad of an idea, actually. I think it might be worth experimenting with it. It might just be the best we can do. Taunting in neutral, it's a nebulous definition. I don't really think we can pull it off. But airtime is a
funny.
number that exists in the game that we can look at, and it might just help us.
It's not nebulous. You're taunting or you're not, and if they hit you, then that means you get away with it. What?
But what? While Puff is recovering, like, how do we define
5
it? I
seconds
don't
since
know.
you got hit. 5 seconds since
love-
you got hit. If Puff can't get back to the stage in 5 seconds, you kidding me? Of course you can.
I love you, Mikey, but airtime is a terrible idea. And for anyone who thinks it's a good idea, go onto
I don't think
onto
it's
YouTube.
really good either.
Look
but-
up Mango. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry. Look up Mango versus Pink Shinobi 1 at Genesis. Mango is approaching the entire time and getting timed out on Congo Jungle 64 by a Peach. Puff can move towards you and be in the air basically all the time, and Puff can be on the ground versus Icy's on a platform and not be approaching in really any way. I just don't think it's a sustainable, tenable way to stop Puff from doing what you don't want her to do.
Any other experiments besides ones that attack Puff that we are?
I have a
interested
good
in?
one. Yeah, how about we attack the opposing player instead? You get 1 slap of the controller out of your opponent's hand per second.
Yes.
How would we test this? How would we experiment with this? Pitch me on the local
Wizzy,
design.
Did any of
much
you see
money.
Wizzy drop
So
his
you
controller
get
versus
those
me?
gym mats, right?
No.
No.
Wait,
what?
did
He
he
already
drop
saw
his
that?
controller? Did you let him pick it up, or did he take the stock?
I just kept comboing him because it was actually while I was waist trying him, and I was like,
this is
you're
the
gonna-
only
What?
time
Well,
in
he
your
was
life that you're
SDIing
allowed
so
to
hard.
combo Wizzy
Yeah, no,
without
he was
the
he
SDI.
was SDIing so hard he literally dropped his.
Oh.
It's on the stadium game. Go
Dude,
look
I
at
need
that.
to
It's
find the
fucking
timestamp.
hilarious.
He's going like this.
Yeah, and he dropped his controller, and I
He
looked
flew
over. I'm
over
like,
his
do I just?
shoulder.
And I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, do I stop? I'm like, no, I'm comboing him. I'll just keep hitting him. He'll come back
Yeah.
eventually.
You take that single chance in your life to combo Wizzy without the SDI being a problem. You get
Listen.
one.
There's always been the one thing, your opponent's spamming the one move against you that you just can't beat. The Falcon just has the drift correct on the Lord Stop. You just can't quite punish it. What do? You slap the fucking controller out of his hands when he goes for it. You get it once per set, it changes the whole dynamic, you get back in there, you start naring, and Fox wins, it's just...
Would they be
It's a
allowed
good
to
change.
have those things around their wrists that let you, like, the controller not go flying? Like
Listen,
a Wiimote's head?
We can't even regulate our controllers as they are. So no rules as far as anti-controller slap tech goes. We'll tell you what, we're set up gym mats, so players will play on gym mats. So when you slap it out, there's a lower chance of it breaking. I know.
Mikey, how do you feel about a
quite
gym
fragile,
field
so-
themed summit?
Well,
Just
you
getting
know
swole.
that.
Isn't that where?
Yeah. I do love sports and Melee combined. I also have been on the forefront of controller throwing technology, so this all sounds great to me.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. One thing I'm curious about is how our perception of the Melee content creator cycle works. Top players have had pretty great attendance this year for our larger events, but I've been scarred in the past by dropouts at the last minute due to a simple calculus. If I stay home and stream, I'll make more. M2K is destroying his mind and body with 72-hour streams featuring a sub-goal to attend, the sub-goal is, quote, enter Melee Major, unquote. He doesn't like particles or articles in that sentence. How obligated are top players to helping the wider Melee ecosystem thrive? For instance, should iBDW have retweeted the trailer for this week's show? Let's start with the cheat.
I do think that it's in their self-interest, and also I would like it if they did this, and that's really all I can say. Yeah, I think that top players have to go to tournaments, otherwise we as a community lose our sort of notoriety, our popularity. So to a certain extent,
where do you think the actual balance lies? Give me something to chew on, Cheat. You're giving me nothing.
Well, I do think that there are like too many fucking tournaments on the calendar, so I don't think they should be expected to go to like all of them. As far as just like an arbitrary number that they should attend, I don't know. Like
1 month. I like 1 a month.
Yeah, 1 a month or something like that.
How do they coordinate and make sure they go to the same one? Is it just reputation of the event?
I defer back to the Chroma idea of give me that week.
Wait a second, IBDW, reveal the Illuminati.
We literally message each other. We have a group chat of like 10 of us, and we're like, yo, what events are we going to this month? That's all we do.
This is fucked up.
That's how you determine
how do you decide?
Is
it just I went there last year and it was really cool?
I mean, we have the events that we know we want to go to. Like we have Big House, we have Genesis. We're always going to go to that. For the other ones, it's someone will go to the next one if they're close by. But it's really, what is the most prize pool? Do they have a tier that we actually trust to not be dog shit? Do they have like a lot of extra attendance? And there will actually be a lot of things where if you don't put effort into your tournament, we're gonna be like, no, fuck you, we're not going.
I'm furiously taking notes.
Yeah, those are fair criteria.
I'm not going to an event where I can't get food that doesn't make my IBS go absolutely apeshit and cause Mango to lose another tournament because he can't stop laughing about my shits. I'm definitely not going to a fucking tournament that can't have a schedule out in a reasonable time frame. True story, by the way. You can ask Mango about it.
Which tournament did Mango lose because you were shitting too hard?
Big House 8. He said that I was complaining in the VIP room about how much my stomach was hurting because I couldn't stop going to the bathroom because IBS, and he said he was in the zone and then started laughing and couldn't get back in the zone and lost the tournament.
That is...
I defer my time, IBDW.
That is the most shocking Sean I've ever
All you gotta do is get the shits and Mango's out of the running.
You know what, though?
That's
it did kind of stall this whole show. All of us stopped talking, so I guess there might be some truth to it.
Something to it.
There's something to it. All right. Chroma, what do you think about the balance of top players streaming? Now let's move on to the next one. This one's
I defer all my time to
the man himself is the next topic. This is a bounty question. We do this thing on this show where I have a bounty.
Right.
You have to convince Mango to go to one tournament for the remainder of the year. There's Apex Main Stage, Smash World Tour, Panda. There's all sorts of events, all sorts of tournaments. So you have to convince Mango to go to one event for the remainder of the year. The best elevator pitch here wins 15 points. What should it be? Let's start with thecheat.com.
There's one thing I know about Mango. It's that motherfucker is lazy. And you know what's the most accessible tournament to go to? Don't deal with the downtown LA traffic. Fuck that. You drive east. You drive against the traffic. You drive to Ontario, and you go to main stage.
The moment you said Ontario, it kind of lost momentum for me.
Ontario, California, baby.
Webs, what do you got?
We haven't seen Mango care this much about world number one for a while, and he's actually in the running for it. So I'm going to say, Mango, listen, you care so much, and the tournament that could possibly push you over the finish line would be Smash World Tour. I think Smash World Tour is going to be the most stacked event for the rest of the year going forward. I think it's going to have the most prestige I think it's going to be Smash World Tour. You got to go to it, Mango. You got to get that world number 1. You're in.
Okay. Chroma, what's your pitch?
They have to be a tournament. You said event, right?
Did say event.
Did say
Tournament
event.
is
Did say
usually the most common, but
All right. You want to see Hugo and Toph beat the shit out of each other and get super drunk? Let's just go to Ludwig's boxing thing. It should be pretty fun.
just you and Mango hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think he's gonna go to that anyways?
I don't know. I think he doesn't like people, and it scares him to go outside sometimes.
Hey,
think you have to pick-
relatable content.
I know.
IBDW, what do you got? What's your pitch for Mango?
I think Mikey missed a crucial element about Mango being lazy, which is true. He doesn't drive. He's a smasher. He Ubers. And so a closer Uber is going to be Panda Cup, which will have literally everybody. He doesn't have to do anything. He can come home right afterwards, and it'll have everyone there, so he gets a real chance to try for number 1 while being lazy fuck at home.
Yeah, I gotta say,
I
I gotta say, I'm not sure that I agree that Smash World Tour is going to be that much more stacked than Panda.
I don't
Webs,
think
you want to give
is more stuck than Panda.
Yeah, I think it might be pretty
I
similar.
think it'll be
Webs-
probably about the even. I'm going to go with
Even-ish,
San
and then one of
Antonio.
them
It's
is
a
in
great
LA.
walkable city, Mango. You're going to love San Antonio. The Alamo's there. Don't you
He
let
doesn't give a
forget it.
shit.
I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna
I got nothing. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just trying to pick the
that's
most
a good
active
pitch for
event.
me. I'd like to go back to San Antonio and have
Oh, it's
time
so
to go for a walk.
walkable,
So I'll
Jack,
give you a couple
isn't it?
pity points, but the
The
winner
river
of this
front's
bounty
great.
is IBDW, putting him in the lead for this show. Let's IBDW at first, Webb second, Chroma third, and Cheat trailing in fourth. Let's move on to our next topic. Wizrobe has had a very mild year. He's been able to beat many of the players perceived as weaker than him, but has a mere 1-set win against the top 8 on AMSA. AMSA, on the other hand, seems to still be playing great, but look pretty shaky in bracket versus IBDW and Mango. Mango being one of his best draws that he could have even gotten at Summit to advance in the bracket given his head-to-head advantage. Here's my question. On the Melee stock market, for players, who do you buy or sell stock in right now? AMSA Inc. or Wizzy Incorporated? That's the long version of Inc. Let's start with Chroma.
Yeah, I mean, so the important thing here is where they are right now. A stock is only as valuable as its value. So as much as I think AMSA will do better on the year than Wizzy, AMSA's stock is basically as high as he can get. He won a major. He has been doing well at every event. He just beat IBDW. He has doing things that he's never done before and succeeding at an unbelievable rate, and I just can't bring myself to hold this thing anymore. I think it's at top or near top, and Wizzy, I can't imagine a player I can pick up at more of a discount that I expect to possibly contend for top 5 in the near future.
So sell AMSA high, no disrespect, buy Wizzy low.
I
He
got
can
buy
only
Wizzy
go
low,
up
I got to
from
sell
here.
AMSA high. Just
All
the way
right,
the market's
IBDW,
going.
what do you think?
I think you wait to buy Wizzy because you're going to know when he's going to come back. And he still has a lot of health problems, which unfortunately has been keeping him from attending events. And it's also severely impacting his gameplay. More so, I talked to him at Summit. I'm not going to say anything he said,
Sure.
but more so than I realized. So I'm going to hold off on buying Wizzy stock until I see signs that he's ready to come back. And then once he comes back, I'm definitely going to buy his stock because, yeah, he's way better than he's been showing.
Okay, Webbs, what do you think?
There's not going to be a dip for AMSA. There's not going to be a dip to buy. So I think you just buy now. You just get in while the getting's good, because I believe that he's on a regulated gym schedule now. He's pretty much full-time Melee. He's just going to be attending more and more events going forward. And I don't see anyone who has the long-term drive and vision of AMSA, because he has been talking for a long time now about how it's not just about winning a tournament. You know what he said after the Big House 10? He said, I feel like there's more sets to play. I feel like it's not even over. And that's because he does not have his sights set on winning a tournament. He has his sights set on being the best player of all time. And he will stop at nothing to do so with Yoshi.
Is Melee the kind of game that can support that kind of career where you spend the first, 8 or so, 9 or so years of your career not winning a major, and then in the next 9 years you become the GOAT? Is that the kind of game we're playing?
Yeah, I do think so.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to
Kinda
do, but
do think
can it
so, yeah.
support it? Fuck no.
You're
You gotta
describing
support it somewhere
Hungrybox.
else.
You think? Wait a second. You don't think Melee's got 9 more years?
Oh, you mean from here? I thought you meant or is it a game where you can support yourself during those first 6 or 7 years?
I'm thinking, can AMSA build a legacy of that is GOAT status after kind of the first half of his
Yeah.
career so far?
Absolutely.
No,
I
no,
do believe
I think
so.
you need to be at the top for another 10 years from him. He's going to be over 40 by that point.
I
And
don't
he's
see the
going to be
problem.
crushing. He's gonna be
Look
going
at
hard.
Dresden.
Yeah, I can't wait because he's
Decrepit
gonna
hands.
have muscles on muscles. He is gonna be just everything you could possibly want from a specimen of a
Webbs
human.
is
gonna look like
slamming
Barry
the AMSA
Bonds.
GameStop stock.
I think he's
yeah.
slamming something else of Amsa's right now.
He
The
is going to
cheat.com.
weigh.
His heart's jarred up.
He's going to weigh 220 pure muscle, and his hat size is going to go up 3 sizes. Amsa's going to be
Exactly.
45,
That's a
pitching
Barry Bonds
120
treatment.
pitches, 95 miles an hour fastball.
He's gonna be cracked and jack. He will pick up Hungrybox and place him
And
on the chair next to him respectfully. The cheat.
And I do think he could be the GOAT. If we're considering Hungrybox to be the GOAT, and you consider how long Hungrybox was very, very high level, higher level than Amsa is right now, but definitely outclassed at many times by many other members of the top 5, and is still contending to be the GOAT right now, I see no reason why Amsa can't start sweeping tournaments from 2024 through
Melee is
2028.
just going to be more compressed going forward too.
Because
Because
it's
more and more.
It's
You know,
gonna be
somebody
more
asks
compressed
less.
than 2016 to 2018.
The reason
Yeah,
you can't
It already
put
is
someone in
more
your call
compressed
that
than
you can't do that
2016,
against.
2018.
Oh,
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a big wall.
You overlooked that.
TheCheat.com, who I keep referring to, and everybody talks over you.
it is Mikey.
Please, God. I actually don't know if I want to buy either of these guys right now. Don't get me wrong.
You're
I
selling
think that-
both?
I think I might. I don't know if I want to sell on Wizrobe. It's hard, but I do think that it's going to be hard for him, particularly with like Cody and Jmook being perennial top like 4 threats right now, to crack any higher than like the bottom of top 8s at majors, which is, you know, kind of a step back from where we saw Wizrobe in 2018, 2019. So I do think that he'll still be a top 8 threat, but I think that he probably won't be able to crack, you know, the tournament winning echelon in the immediate future unless something changes up, which it always can. That's the Amsa story, right? So for now, I'm holding on both of them.
Okay. Let's move on to our second to last topic. We're getting to the end here, and it looks like we're going to need some miracles for the scoreboard to shake out a little bit. We saw a beautiful thing at Summit. Axe tweets out that he's considering a few characters versus HBox. Then he sees my tweet and correctly picks Fox. You're welcome. I want to use this moment as inspiration for a classic Armada hypothetical. If he had kept playing, and we touched on this earlier, which modern Foxes do you think would have forced him off his peach by now into the Fox Ditto? Let's start with the cheat in last place.
Geez, I actually think that it's quite a few. I think that it's probably
I'll give you 2 points each.
Cody.
Okay.
I think Josh Man, even. I think maybe
You think Josh
a
Man?
little bit of Moki, maybe a little bit of Sunsei even. I think that the Foxes are fucking crazy now. I think that he dittos them. I think that they can all just kind of run it over.
No.
All right, Cody, you're shaking your head. This is offensive to you. Go for it.
Dude, no, it's me and nobody else. Okay, Moki, I love you to death. Moki to pick a beating Adam's Peach. Of any Fox you could have said, Moki is like, I love you. You've had so many problems with Peach. You have gotten better at the matchup. No, he's not beating Adam's. If Adam still was playing, which means he kept getting better. No shot. Josh, man. Huh?
Yeah, the Josh man. Listen, I love Josh, but listen, IBW, you've placed the stake in the stand, and I'm giving you a lot of points for it for the grit and determination. Somebody convince me IBDW is wrong and that this is just ego check, and I'll take away his points.
He is wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. First off, nobody forces Armada off of Peach, and here is why. I am not saying that people can't beat Armada's Peach. I think that IBDW in practice can beat Peach. Out of practice, I think Armada might spoof on net play, and then, you know, Cody gets a little bit lost as to who it is, and that switch isn't happening. Moki, if Armada plays Moki early in bracket, he's not beating that Peach. But any other time in bracket can get it done. I think Musco Man can take him off. I think Mob Money can take him off. I think people are going to get so good at Fox Peach that so many people are going to threaten him, and Armada will want to go Fox, but it's a terrible idea. What are you going to do? You're going to Fox Ditto Moki? That's worse. You're going to Fox Ditto Aklo, and you're not going to lose at least 2 out of those 10 sets. He went Fox to try and win as many matches as possible and protect himself versus people he thought he was worse than. I don't think that he would be better at the Fox Ditto than people right now.
You are
I don't think he's
smoking
Fox doing.
crack.
He's not
Let's
Fox
go
doing
for
Zuppy.
it.
Look at Wally versus Zuppy, and look at Zuppy versus Apple.
You are smoking crack. Lod beats these people, right?
Listen.
That's my point. He stays on Peach.
Go for it, Webbs.
The answer is Cody. Cody is the correct answer. Cody, I believe the last Peach you lost to, what, Polish is...
I lost the one set to Polish in Smash World Tour.
Yeah, and I think it has not looked close with Cody versus Peach in recent memory. Now, here's the thing. Things have changed. We're in a new era. But back in the day, Armada, when he closed the door on Peach versus Leffen, he closed the door. He said, it's not coming back. And that's because Leffen had showed a level of discipline and destruction against him in that matchup to just completely change his mind.
Didn't he play Peach? Did they fight at Evo?
He went FD. He went FD only. He would do it for FD because of chain grabs, and that's about it.
Yeah. So I think that Cody has that level of discipline. I think that he pushes Armada off Peach. And I say that under the assumption that Armada had been continuing playing this entire time.
Yeah.
If Armada comes back now, I don't think that he sticks with it. I think the Peach does not come back very much of for the majority of matchups, I'd say. I think a lot of he'll run into some initial issues, and I think that same block that he put on the matchup, where he just decided that it was time to go Fox, it'll just be the case.
He was a little too doomer on Peach.
I agree.
I think he was a little too doomer on Peach. I agree in some things, but like, even if he switched off Peach for me, there's definitely a day where it's like, oh, his texture's a little off, and I don't like my Fox. I should go Peach, and I think that it would be the correct decision. So I don't know. I think he was a little bit Peach doomer, but yeah, I don't think any of the other Foxes just. That guy was really good, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize that guy was really good.
That's my core point. He's a doomer on Peach, and then he's going to go play Fox Dittos with people that he could probably beat with Peach.
No,
so they're not going to... Oh, I see your point. So they're not going to force him off Peach, but he won't play Peach.
Exactly.
How do you make this distinction? You're still... I don't get it.
He always played Peach.
I still don't get it.
He never went Fox.
Okay, let me put it this way. Leffen lost to Lod pretty badly. There are a lot of situations where people, if they're not prepared with the matchup, if they're not ready to fight Armada or Lod, they would lose to the Peach, but Armada doesn't think about it that way. Armada's like, the meta's too fast, Peach is too slow. He was, at his core, not a true Peach believer. But I think that hurts him.
That counts as force. If it means tapping into the Doomer mindset, even if you could win, then that still is what we're talking about here. So let's move on to our final topic. We've been calling these tiebreakers the final topics, but really it's more like on RuPaul's Drag Race when this is like your last chance to impress me and save yourself from elimination. So let's go for that. It's semi-confirmed future guest Representative-elect Zoe Zephyr of Montana's 100th House District beat SFAT in Project M back in the day. Smashers are spreading their wings and seizing power throughout this country. Patriots in control. For our tiebreaker, which top Smasher is most likely to be elected to public office? And if you'd like to throw some sprinkles on there, which is most likely to win? Whoever wants to start, go ahead and dive in.
I'm just going to say H-Box. That man can appeal to a crowd like nobody else in this scene. And I don't think it's particularly close. I don't think Mango would want to. I think it's just H-Box.
I would say that's true, but there is a photo that exists of H-Box and Milo Yiannopoulos. So that's not a very good look. I think that the answer, after seeing this comeback, is actually our very own guest, iBDW here. Well-educated, well-spoken. I don't know. What are your views on land value tax, Cody?
Yeah, Cody, what's your views on land value tax?
I'm a New Yorker. You don't want to get into this with me.
No. Yeah. Thumbs up or thumbs down on that.
Into
Real
it.
quick.
Ooh,
okay.
Never
What
mind.
do you think?
I don't like that.
I'm gonna have to go with Armada. I think Armada gets elected to public office in Sweden. I think, he cares about public good because he was a teacher for a while. He's got a lot of time on his hands now. He's shown dedication to a cause. I think he's got a squeaky clean record. He's got a big family that he can draw a lot of support from. I think Armada would make an excellent elected official in Sweden.
That's an excellent answer, Webbs, and you love land value taxes. I know that.
God.
All right, Chroma, what do you think?
Well, I'm happy to announce I'm going to be winning this episode because I have the perfect answer. This is a person who is developed throughout their lives, was a feisty competitor, a fearless community leader. Back when Smash was at its worst, he revived Melee, or at least helped to do it. He united the East Coast and the West Coast and was never afraid to tell the truth. If he thought Puff was broken, it was broken. But he still respected the Puff player. He tied together all elements of the scene and then graduated to be an elder statesman. When we needed structure, he made that structure happen and has now ascended into the rafters of Melee history as just our most prescient person we will ever hear or see on the mic, the most electrifying, everything that you can ask for in a politician, Bobby Scarduzio.
Oh, Scar Newman. Hello? You don't even know his last name.
Scar Newman?
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to subtract some
wait
points
a
for that, and I will
minute.
give him
We
the
need
web.
you know what? We need a new man in office, and that man is Bobby Scar.
This was a Mickey Mouse final question, so I'm just going to give you all a chance to rant and convince me why that Mickey Mouse question shouldn't determine the winner. But Chroma is our leader, and I think that he had the best answer. And iBDW, you fumbled the bag with that thumbs down. You were cornered by Mikey. It's a classic.
I was trolling. I want to see how many points I would lose.
You got off
that's
easy,
quite a
sir.
risk.
You got off easy.
I'm
last
definitely
words?
forward, by the way. I'm most certainly forward.
I just think that it's fair that Jake wins this because I slammed him so hard when it came to eating one slice of pizza in a single bite. I made him look stupid. I made him look bad. I embarrassed him. I feel like he feels bad about it, and he should. He should.
I respect
because
the better man. You
you
came
can run the
correct.
bit
You
like
came
me.
ready.
You couldn't run the bit like me, Jake. You just couldn't
You
do
got it down in one bite.
I sure did, and I ran it close, but I got it done.
I feel somewhat guilty about giving Chroma the win on this for punishing iBDW. Cheat Webs, I'm gonna ask you two to help me out with this because I do think I'm gonna have you two be the losers of this episode. It is between Chroma and iBDW.
Absolutely insane.
Who would you like to give your points to, or not at all?
I'm not giving my points to anybody.
To who?
To no one. I earned these 56 points fair and square. I think it's bullshit. I'm only 4 points behind Jake. He doesn't even know Scar's last name.
I love that for you.
Son of a bitch.
I got drunk and.
Do you have
I
a
kinda lost the
point
tongue.
donation you want to make?
I said it before the show. It's the Chroma episode.
All I'm gonna
It's
say,
a
Chroma
Jake win!
didn't let Mikey talk for like 2 minutes and somehow didn't get penalized for that.
He did get penalized. I took a bunch of points off of him when the camera was away.
Oh, damn it.
And I'd do it again.
All right, then the winner of this episode is somehow Chroma. We're not going to publish this one.
That works out for me.
Good job, Jake.
Yes,
Chroma's
and
supposed
I
to
gave
lose.
it to him. Don't you ever fucking forget it.
Wait, when's the next question?
That's it. I
No,
ran out
wait,
of questions
no,
to screw you over on. I
Let's
usually nuke you by this
Jack,
point.
Yeah,
Let's just keep going. Let's just keep
Jack,
going with the
you got
list.
it.
Okay. Let me get
Chroma's just doing his best on.
Just ask us about our
I got one. I got one.
Questions
In
to
the
answer.
era of the five gods, M2K was seen as the gatekeeper, but the god with the smallest chances of winning a major. Is Jmook the new M2K? Okay, we're going to Fourside. Chroma, congratulations to the winner of this episode.
That'd be so sad.
All right. Back in
Sad.
just 2 minutes while we get everybody set up on Fourside and get that stream going.
How did I lose?
Hold on and make sure that you watch the free-for-all with us. See you soon.
I don't know,
Alrighty.
Jack. I think we messed this one up. I don't think I was supposed to win this.
This is a cursed timeline. I had to
What?
punish IBDW. It was just the right thing, but I didn't. It's a very. I feel very like I was tricked by myself.
Yeah, you really did kind of trick yourself into it. I have a question. What word was I thinking of? I got kind of drunk and I was thinking about like what word I wanted to describe Scar as. You know, it's like when a bunch of people just like you. They just get the vibe and they like you. What is that called?
Charismatic, likable.
Charismatic. That's it. Oh, damn. I was really ramping up for that, and I just totally fumbled it at the end and lost all my brain cells. I want to ask Cody more questions about like what top players will and won't go to, because I've been speculating about this a lot. Cody, Smash World Tour. Do you guys care about like the?
Do you want me to
prize pot?
unmute him?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
was
right, Cody, you've been graced with the gift of speech by Chroma, our winner.
Yes. Yeah,
Cody.
people definitely care about the prize pot, 100%. I think like Mango's really the only one that doesn't. Maybe I feel like Zane kind of does, but I feel like everyone else definitely does.
That kind of rules.
Like prize
That kinda
pot. If you have a big enough prize pool and you're not the week after Summit 12, I will almost certainly come to your tournament.
That's also the thing too. Everything gets very, very
And
cramped on
HBox will
top of each
definitely
other.
come into your tournament.
HBox will be there. That is good to know. Who do you think instigates it? Like, who's the linchpin to go into a tournament? Is it Mango?
It's just kind of whoever. Like it's just you need someone to break the ice. If you get someone to break the ice, you're good.
If for example it were just Wheat, like Wheat just told you guys like, hey, who's going to this? And like two of you said yes, would that work?
Yeah, usually.
That would work. All right, that's
Chroma, do you have
interesting.
anything to plug with your time here?
Oh, I'm actually gonna be at Apex. I like this idea of seeing what happens if we don't change the name.
Oh shit, I forgot to do that topic.
Yeah, you forgot that topic entirely. I was trying to
there's your
throw it to you a
question.
little bit. Yeah, you know, Apex should be really
Do you want to do
interesting.
that topic right now?
Not really. It's really just like what salty sweets do I want to see? That would also be fun.
We're
What
not
else
trying to
do I
win
have
this game, right?
They're ganging up on
You
you.
should
huh?
try to win because
You should try and win. No, we're gonna judge you if you don't.
if you're the worst pundit and the worst melee player, that's really
Well, someone's
embarrassing.
already out.
Okay, well that was me.
That was just Jack.
I
setting
was
up
not.
the
I don't
game.
want you stealing my stocks. All right, so I'll just read the text for that one because that was a pretty good one. Apex is the next big event coming up. So far, IBDW, Moki, AMSA, HBox, Jmook, Axe, and a gang of tri-staters are signed up. Listen, to me, keeping the event name after the shit that happened is a bit like saying, we can't give up on the Weinstein Company brand. Think of all the great movies they made. But here we are. Who's gonna win?
Oh man, that is.
Who do you
good.
think would have won? Who do you think is
You
gonna
know-
win Apex?
I just kind of want to focus on like salty sweets. I think would be funny, like Hungrybox versus everyone that beat Hungrybox on net play, some sort of like odds crew battle.
He needs to play Harry Poggers.
He's got to get Harry Poggers. Harry Poggers is gonna sweep that. Yeah, you know, just like various events like that, like Mewtwo versus Hungrybox, Smoke Session. Just, you know, whoever gets its high wins. I think. Like Cody, who would you actually like have any sort of beef with in that sort of sense? I don't know. Like, do you want to run like a best of 9 with Zane? I don't really know.
I mean, I'd be down to do it, but that's like very friendly. That's not like there's not a lot of beef there. Most
Yeah,
people
that's-
have, most people
Cody,
that
you
have
dropped your
beef with
pocket.
or have had beef with, nice try. Most people that I have tried to have beef with or have
Yeah.
in the past, like I just kind of fuck up now, so I don't have beef with them anymore because
Oh,
it's gonna be
Webs,
fun.
no.
All right, let's bring everybody back. Congratulations. Let
Webs,
me
I was
unmute.
trying.
Let me unmute. All right. Congratulations to our winner, Chroma. It still feels
tough.
weird to say. And
tough.
congratulations to the winner of the Fourside Fight, iBDW, our Fourside Fights free-for-all champion. This has
Fox
been
kicking
our
ass.
episode.
I have one more thing to plug.
Oh, you have one more thing to plug. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting
come on.
because your time is up. Thank you for joining
Aw.
us this week. We will see you next time. I hope all you return. This is a pitched battle. See you soon.
It was my cat.
That's cute.
Bring Cat.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
And you see cat?
Yeah, we could see
Probably
Cat.
cat.
She is
All right.
very
Bye,
angry.
everybody.
See you.